What up, guys? This is Coach Vassar. Welcome to the Audio Daily Beats. If you're new to these, thank you for tuning in. If you find value in them, information is in the description on how to support me. Completely optional. Don't do it until you find value in these. Appreciate you for tuning in and listening to me ramble about these workouts. This is going to be Thursday, October 3rd. This will repeat on Tuesday, October 15th. We're going to see endurance on the tread, strength on the row, and power on the weight floor. I'll do kind of an overview of everything, break down the treads, rower, weight floor, and then also any differences in the 3G that we may see. So on the 3rd, this is coming off after a very lower body focused template. So just something to be mindful of. Anyone who came in the day before, legs are going to be a little stiff, so they might not be able to hit their normal speeds. They might not be able to get same range of motion for the squat. So just, obviously be aware of that. As we are looking at the template itself, key concepts, we're gonna have one 23-minute tread block that is all about speed surges. We're gonna have 5 identical rounds, each round alternating between push and base. The twist is before each base, you will challenge your push with a 15-second speed surge. On the rower, you have only one block on the rower where you'll keep your stroke rate low and your power high. And then on the floor itself, there's 2 blocks. Each block follows the same pattern: push, pull, rest, then power. So as we look at the treads, as I mentioned, there's gonna be 5 rounds of work. It's gonna start off with a 2-minute and 15-second push, followed by a 15-second speed surge into a 90-second base. So you could, broad picture, 2.5-minute push, 90-second base, 5 rounds, and then there's a bonus 6th round where it's just the 2-minute 15 push into a 45-second all out. The recommendation here is they're gonna use a regular push for 2.5 minutes, something that they can maintain. And then when it comes to the surge for the first round, we wanna increase their speed, even as a power walker, by about 0.1 to 0.3 or more, and then be able to take it back to base. The overall feeling of this is the first 2 or 3 rounds, be able to hold base, and then if they need to adjust base to see heart rate trend downward, they could scale back their base as they try to maintain their push and then maintain or increase the surge that they do. They reference to the fact that the surge is going to be more challenging than push, but not quite an all out. So very similar to like that push all out feeling. And once again, you should be able to return to base afterwards. Power walkers, they're doing 4% or greater. So at least 1% or more higher than their base incline, but really once again, it's gonna be about that change in walk speed when they hit that surge. For anyone on the bike or strider, they're recommending that they hold their push gears for 2.5 minutes, but during the final 15, when the treads surge, they'll surge as well. So maintain gear, increase RPM, as close to 100 as they can. Obviously try not to go over 100 is their thought process, and then be able to take it back to their base RPM and base gear for the next 90 seconds. 23.5 minutes of this, followed by that 45-second all out as well. Through the first, let's see, each round takes about 4 minutes. So by round 4, that's gonna be 16 minutes in. Lots of ebb and flow between orange and green, and they might stay in that orange way longer than before. On round 4, round 5, during that 90-second base, we want to see heart rate trend downward. If they get back to the green, great. At the very least, beats per minute should be steadily dropping a few as they try to get closer to that low orange, high green level. And then they finish with 3 minutes of tough work, where it's that 2-minute, 15-second push into a 45-second all out. And that's the treads. When we look at the weight floor and the rower, it's gonna be sandwiched. So they're gonna do a floor block, row block, and then back to the floor. In block 1 on the floor, you're gonna see incline position on the bench. This is gonna be on the 3rd position, so the lowest incline. They have closed grip chest press for 10 reps and a seated low row for 10 reps. They'll rest, and then an explosive movement with the dumbbell high pull with power. The key thing here is the high pull of power is going to decrease in reps. So try to increase explosiveness with the same weight for that movement. With the chest press in the low row, They're using the bench, but obviously for the low row, they're gonna be seated and they're hinging over, driving those elbows back, getting that upper engagement through, lats, traps, and the upper back muscles. For the incline closed grip chest press, pretty heavy on the triceps, a little bit on the chest, not so much on the shoulder. And then when we hit that high pull of power, a lot of hinging mechanics, and of course back of the shoulders as they go into that high pull. Recommendations is they could do strap chest press and strap low row. And then for the high pull of power, you could do a sumo squat to upright row with power. We want to try to have people go heavy on the back to back and then be explosive on that high pull of power. 10 reps though is pretty tough to go heavy, so I would recommend at least moderate. And they might be using different weights for those two movement patterns. After they've completed 3 rounds of 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 8, 10, 10, 6, they're gonna repeat that 3rd round until you call time. So 10, 10, 6 on repeat until they finish out, and then they'll head over to the rower. When they do the row block, they do wanna take 1 dumbbell with them as they do 8 reps of a single arm neutral grip thruster with rotation, and that's gonna be paired up with a 200 meter push row, but it's a strength focus. Recommendation stroke rate is 22 to 24 on the template. Leg drive 6, 7, maybe 8 out of 10. Ideally, it's a back-to-back, so they do both things, then they rest. They'll start with the row, and then they hit the thruster with rotation. Major call out for this is that if they did the class the day before, Wednesday, October 2nd, drop it like a squat, very lower body dominant. So that thruster might be a little tough for some people to do. So an option here is you could do a push press with rotation, or in the template, in the daily beat, they mentioned just doing a rotation press movement and no lower body engagement with it at all. With 6.5 minutes here, we'll probably see, at least 3 row attempts, 2, maybe 3 rounds of the dumbbell exercise before you call time. And then when they head back to the floor for their final block here, it'll be set up like block 1. So we're gonna see 10 reps of 2 movements, rest, and then a power movement. For this block, the 10 rep movements is gonna be an incline chest fly, followed by a high plank pull through. They'll rest, and then they'll go into the dumbbell skier swing. Options for the chest fly is you could do a strap chest press again, high plank pull through, you could do it from your knees. Skier swing, you could do an explosive hinged base movement. They say, dumbbell bridge, or bodyweight squat to toes. You could do good mornings. I'm a fan of the skier swing to a speed squat as the option, because at least with the VVA, the speed squat matches what they see on the screen. Even though a skier swing is more of a hinge mechanic in the video, you could see that they mostly squat. So by doing that skier swing motion with the speed squat, it can kind of correlate for people to get a better understanding to make the connection and connect the dots for that. The finisher is nice and simple here. It'll be a member choice of either high plank or low plank for the final 45 seconds. Lots of high heart rate on the floor with the power movements, on the rower for sure as well. So we may see green, maybe a little bit of orange as well over there. When we look at the 3G, we're gonna see 1 long block on the treads. We're gonna have 2 blocks on the rower and on the weight floor. On the treadmills, we will see just 3 rounds of the same pattern. So 2-minute 15 push, 15-second speed surge, so 2.5 minutes, followed by a 90-second base. They'll do that 3 times, and then they have the same bonus round, except for the all out is only 15 seconds. So that speed surge is now an all out for the final 15. And that'll be their 14.5 minute block. Same idea though, maintain their push, maintain or increase surge, and then adjust base as needed to trend towards the green zone. When we look at the rowers, block 1, we're gonna see a 1-minute push row, stroke rate 22 to 24, followed by med ball squat to upward rotation, 8 on each side. So they'll squat down, as they come up, they'll rotate, press it overhead, come back down, and then do the same side for 8, and then the other side. With this 1-minute push row and with that stroke rate, obviously they're only gonna get 22, 23, or 24 strokes in that minute. Use stored programs, check their distances, And ideally they're getting about 200 to 250 plus meters in that 1 minute. They want to do both of those things, rest, and then repeat. Because they're rowing for a minute straight, we'll probably get 3 rounds in here. No more than that, really. Block 2, it's going to be very similar, but now it's distance-based, 200-meter push row, just like in the 2G. And then the med ball exercise is going to be a single leg calf raise, but they also have the med ball overhead, working on shoulder stability, endurance, as well as a little bit of balance and coordination on the ankle. Same thing, do 200 meters, count and remember strokes, and then do your med ball exercise and then rest. So can they match or decrease their stroke count to complete their row while they maintain 22 to 24? They'll finish with a 15-second all-out row as their finisher. On the floor, this is the exact same blocks that they'll see in the 2G. So block 1, close grip chest press, and the seated low row for 10 reps each, rest, and then the high pull with power for 3 rounds. And then chest fly, plank pull through, skier swing for 3 rounds, repeat in round 3 until time is called. And then their finisher is gonna be that skier swing as well on the floor. That's it, nice little blend of endurance on the treads, got some strength on the rowing, some explosive movements on the weight floor. That's all I got. Coach it down, best of luck.